Hey everyone, Mark here from Digital Groove Online and welcome back to this week's video. And I thought this week's video I'm going to do a little bit of mimicking another sound from another track. So Bicep's Glue, if you haven't heard it, a great tune, you should go and check it out, but most of you will have heard it. And it has this lovely gated effect in the background, which is the main theme of the track and it's part of the vocal. So I'm going to use stock plugins from Ableton to show you how to get a similar effect so that you can apply it to your tracks. Now I've selected some sounds already. I'm going to do it to this evolving pad and just like this vocal sort of sample here to give you the similar effect that's within Glue. We're not going to copy the actual melody, but just to let you hear what we're going to recreate. It's something that's going to be similar to this. Now, not the drums, the actual gated sounds in the background. So right now I'm going to just turn that off so it doesn't interfere with what we're doing. As I said, I've grabbed two samples already that I would like to put this type of effect on. We're going to use Ableton stock plugins as well. And the first thing we're going to reach for inside Ableton is the gate. So you can just go to all at the top, type in gate, and it'll be the top search there. And we're going to drop that onto the sound that we want to give that effect to, which is going to be the pad or the vocal. Okay, we're going to leave it as it is for now and play around with those dials a little later on. Okay, the next thing I'm going to bring in is an operator, which is a built-in synth in Ableton Suite. And we're just going to use one oscillator, which is already turned up at the bottom. However, we're going to change that to white noise, okay, over here. And that should sound something like this, hopefully. Okay, I'll turn that down a little bit because it's very, very noisy. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do then is draw in a MIDI clip. We'll maybe do it that long there. And we'll probably start higher up the keyboard because it's easier to hear. And what I'm going to do is just solo that channel, put on the metronome. You may not hear it through the session, but we're going to try and draw a little bit of a rhythm out similar to that, okay? Let me just see. So let's just have a listen to that. Let's turn it down a little bit. Okay, let's see. Maybe take that last one out. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to shape that a little bit better. So I want to hear it be a little bit more pluckier. Sorry, the next thing I'll do before that actually is highlight all these. And we'll just make sure they're not sort of touching or overlapping so that the sound plays a little bit more clear. The next thing we're going to do after that is just go over here to this option here and tick envelope, okay? And we're going to move this around until we hear it sounding a little bit cleaner and a little bit pluckier, okay? So I'm going to pull the decay and the sustain down and tighten that envelope up, okay? So we'll just leave it as it is so you can hear what it sounds like firstly. Actually loop this up so we can hear it changing over time. So it sounds a bit clearer there than it did before. You can identify in between each note as well, okay? Now, we won't be listening to this sound. We will be turning it off. So that's now off. We're going to use this to trigger the gate in the background, okay? So let's zoom out here a little bit. And we will duplicate that up just so it goes to the end. And we'll just solo this now. So this is the channel that we want to affect, okay? Just over where the gate is, you can see a little triangle button just below the on off switch there. And if we select that, it opens up into sort of a sidechain input. So we can click on external and we can take information from a source. Now the source here is operator 3, which is what we've used. And I'm just going to play the audio, and the first thing I'm going to do is mess around with the threshold here. So let's see. As you see, if you go to turn off that reverb that I have on there. If you go too far down, it lets the whole signal through. If you go too high, you hear nothing. It's about getting that right. And then you can mess around with your hold and your release as well. Okay, so you get the idea that we're now creating that gated effect. Now, the rhythm can be whatever you want. In the Bicep glue one, they leave gaps, which is really, really nice. And if you're using a synthesizer, for example, and holding sustained notes, you can sort of pitch bend into those notes as well and out of those notes, which give you a really good effect as well. But just in its most simplest term, we're using audio here, so it's just going to be straight fed in to get the audio in the background. I've got a lovely vocal shot here, which I'll play for you in a second, but I just want to get some effects on it just to show you how it would sound if we were to sort of embed this into a track and give it a little bit more of a sparkle using some delay, reverb, and EQ, for example. So we'll cut some of the low end off. Let's see. Grab some EQ. And go back to the start. Okay, that's fine. And we'll grab a delay. We'll just bring the dry wet down for a second. Maybe set the ping pong as well. I've just set up on a return channel here a Valhalla Shimmer, which is just a big washed out reverb plugin, really, 100% on the mix. But I've just taken a little section of an EQ and carved a lot of those frequencies out, so we'll bring that in as well. Just want to turn off the reverb now so you can see what that sounds like. This is that nice drony effect. We'll turn it down a little bit. So there you go, that's the pad side of it as well. So we'll swap that out now and have a listen to the little vocal sample that I've brought over there as well, and just let you hear that you can once you've got this set up, you can just drag and drop all different types of samples in there and it'll give you hopefully different types of textures and effects there as well. So let's have a listen to this. Really, really nice textures, nice effect. Put some nice chords on it, maybe piano, some bass synths, and whatever. That sounds really, really good, and all that can be achieved with using stock Ableton plugins. Just to show you that it sort of works with when you've got it set up with any sort of sound. I'm going to go into my sample library. Just quickly have a listen to um, even some pads, for example. Let's see. Yeah, something like that. Just dragging something really random in here. And that's just keep dragging in new sounds really, and just experiment with that. But I just wanted to keep the videos short as possible, rather than doing really, really long videos. We'll get back into maybe start to finish, or track starter ideas very soon, hopefully. But I'll not do too many of them. I'm just gonna try and put on some tips and tricks and nice sort of song starter ideas, I suppose, over the next month or so anyway. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Very simple to do. Get practicing. If you have any questions, drop a comment below. And also, I have set up a free school community, which I put a preset and some MIDI files in last week, and I have a beginner's course to Ableton also in there. And I'm hoping that we can sort of grow that and have like-minded people within the school platform that can sort of help each other out, give feedback, share track ideas, that sort of thing, which will be great for everybody. So I'm going to post the link to the school website as well underneath this video. Okay, so until next week, see you then.